Hello, dear viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about Sri Lanka and the judgment of the Supreme Court against the Rajapaksas. Let's begin. Today I'm going to be talking about nationalism in a South Asian country. For today is Sri Lanka. A few days ago, Mahinda Rajapaksa and Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the former Prime Minister and President respectively of Sri Lanka, were judged guilty by the Sri Lankan Supreme Court for the economic uh, problems that Sri Lanka is facing, the debt crisis, the lack of foreign exchange, the default. I've spoken about this in a previous video about Sri Lanka's economic crisis. You'll see a link to that video on the screen if you want to watch. Now, let's get started. In a landmark judgment, Sri Lanka's top court on Tuesday ruled that former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, ex-Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, former Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa, and other senior officials violated the fundamental rights of the people by mishandling the economy and causing the unprecedented economic crisis. Sri Lanka declared economic bankruptcy in April 2022 by announcing its first ever sovereign default. The island nation was hit by its worst financial crisis in history, with its foreign exchange reserves falling to a critical low and protests. A five-member bench of the Supreme Court was ruling on the petition filed by Transparency International Sri Lanka and four other activists in 2022. The bench, in a majority 4 to 1 ruling, said that the respondents, including the Rajapaksa brothers, were responsible for economic mismanagement in the island country between 2019 to 2022. The former central bank of Sri Lanka governors Ajit Nivard Cabral and W.D. Lakshman and ex-secretaries to the Treasury P.B. Jayasundara and S.R. Atigali were also found guilty of rights violations. The petitioners had claimed that tax concessions worth 681 Sri Lankan billion rupees granted to businesses in 2019 by the Gotabaya Rajapaksa during his tenure as president were the main reason for the economic slump. Other actions, such as pegging the US dollar as 203 Sri Lankan rupees, the delay in approaching the IMF for a bailout, and decision to honor a $5 million international sovereign bond payment in January 2022, cited as examples of mismanagement. The petitioners who approached the court and they did so in the interest of the public and did not seek compensation for themselves. The court, however, was not inclined to order any compensation to them. Thus, the apex court, however, the court wanted them, the guilty, to pay the costs incurred by the petitioners. Thus, the Supreme Court ordered all the respondents to pay the petitioners legal costs of 150,000 rupees each. Cash-strapped Sri Lanka still has a total foreign debt of $46.9 billion. So yeah, the issue is still going on. What can we make of this? I think it's that Sri Lanka's judiciary has decided to act against the Rajapaksas and hold them accountable for the bad policies that they had that caused the economic crisis. I personally agree with this, that the Rajapaksas were responsible for the crisis, that their policies of getting into debt, of not approaching the IMF in time, uh, compounded the financial issues that Sri Lanka was facing. But I don't think that our judiciary should be commenting on these things. I don't think that this is a legal matter. Governments have the right to pass policies, including bad policies, and even if they cause problems for the uh, country, that shouldn't be considered as an illegal act. And however, if I would only want politicians to be charged by the judiciary in any country, including mine, if they commit crimes such as corruption. In this case, that is not what happened. So while I agree with the comments made by the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, I don't think that this case was necessary in the first place. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to see other videos about nationalism in South Asia, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I use for this video, click the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.